working conditions. Oh, I'm afraid that we missed it. Under working conditions. Gonna find out. Gonna find out. Ooh, is love under working conditions? Gonna find out. Gonna find out. Gonna find out. I'm afraid I missed it.
I love that quiet little plucking. I think it just goes, it kind of drives the song. Even this very simple beat is like one of my favorite things, because this song is very straightforward, and basically is about just kind of that feeling of when you're trying to figure out if something is working with a person and you've just started out in a relationship and you're trying to figure out if the problems that you're experiencing are what it means to be working on it or have the relationship in working condition. Are we able to make it through and navigate these things that are difficult, or are we not able to? And kind of going through this image of like building a house and just purchasing a house and all the work that has to go into when you first buy a house. A lot of people, the way they create is they kind of force themselves to, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna write a song and I'm gonna do it in a couple of hours and that's gonna be it. I work on songs in pieces more, and I take little fragments of ideas and things that I think of that come naturally to me, working out of that like base or that pool of creativity or things that are speaking to us will spark in me some kind of melody. I'll record it, put it on a voice note on my phone, and as I'm walking and continuing to live and go about my my existence, I'm always having that on the back of my mind, in my subconscious. What I do throughout the day is, if I have a little lyric that I think of, I'll just open up my notes and I'll just kind of put a little saying. It's usually just only a few lines, and then after a couple of weeks, I'll go through and see if there's anything worth kind of taking and compiling into either a bigger kind of note or some type of like poem or song structure. So let's see. The first time that I recorded Working Conditions, I think, is sometime in, let's see, 2017. So we've been working on this for a couple of years now. You can tell it's my dad's shot because he spelled a word wrong. He could never spell anything right. It says The Peaceful Kingdom with 2 L's. This actually might be in I want to say the Wanamaker's house, or not the Vanderbilt, some very fancy family in Pennsylvania. So this is actually the plaque from my dad's studio. It says George Farragon Studio, 2nd floor, which is really neat that we saved it. We also saved like the no parking sign, and it says no parking Farragon Studios. And for a while I like put it up in my college dorm room, and that was really neat. If I ever have like a music studio myself, I'm definitely going to put that there. I don't know if he was like, he must have been being the model here. He was very, very young. I wonder if there's a year. Yeah, I don't think there's a year, but there's a lot of these ones here. Even this. That's my dad. That's the face he would make when he just absolutely hated everything. It's a typical Kurt Farragon face. He did not want to be in that test shot. I am very sure of that. So these are really, really cool. So my dad would wake up early pretty much every weekend and try to go to the Pine Barrens and take pictures, and he would wait and wait and wait for the shot, and sometimes hours at a time. And actually one time when he was the most lucid that he had been, when he was really, really bad, he walked over to one of these photos on our wall and he just started talking, and he was like, You know, like, you just gotta wait for the shot. It'll speak to you. It'll always come out and speak to you. You just have to be patient enough. So many people are concerned about trying to make it happen, but a good shot, it just speaks to you. And you could be looking through, like he would tell me all the time about looking at the lake 1,000 different ways, and then all of a sudden, just one little change happens, and it's just like this spark, and then you just capture that moment. And so I've kind of found a lot of peace and connectivity with my dad, especially since he's passed, since I've kind of put those pieces together in my mind that I'm just a photographer like him, and in a way, what I'm doing with music, and really what any artist is doing, is they're capturing those snapshots, these feelings through music, capturing these, things that I see, things that I hear, just being able to give my perspective on that in any given moment, and that a good song is meant to do that, is to kind of take that snapshot just like a photographer. I don't really believe in like trying to fabricate or make or put together something. I really do think that art is something that speaks to us mainly, and it's out there. So what we're doing is we're always looking for it, we're always listening for it, and I think that's in a myriad of ways. The things that I think that speak to me the most aren't necessarily even musical things, but the way the light hits me. I open up the windows, the way that I hear the birds, the way that I hear all of nature kind of speaking. All of those things, they communicate really, really strong truths. I look for a speaking voice everywhere, whether that's driving around. I love to take long drives, and going thrifting is one of my favorite things to do, and just see all the different colors and feel all the different textures and patterns, because you never know at what moment. I never know at what moment when I touch a certain shirt on the rack at Goodwill if I'm going to immediately think of a lyric for one of my songs. Maybe that color or something in it's going to speak to me, and that's going to be the key to something I've been mulling over for a while. Ultimately, being creative, being artists is not for art's sake itself, but it's to be able to take this snapshot of a truth, because the greatest truths that are happening around us are those ones that are just under the surface, and I think good artists are able to just slightly bring them out so that they're more visible, more audible, and that more people say, hey, I felt that too. Maybe that's been there the whole time, and I think that's the gift of art to the world. So.
Do you even care? Is it love under working conditions? Is it love? I'm with you that we missed it. Is it just love?